There's a moment every trader remembers. The screen flashes red, your stop gets hit, and for a second, it's not just your account that takes a hit, it's you. That sinking feeling in your stomach isn't about the lost capital. It's about who you thought you were slipping away. You stare at the chart, hoping for a miracle. Not because you want the money back, but because you want your identity back. Here's the uncomfortable truth nobody tells you. Most traders don't blow their accounts because of bad analysis. They blow them because every trade has become a vote on their self-worth. You think you're trading markets, but you're actually trading identity, and that's why you can't stop. That's why you hold too long, size too big, chase too fast. Because losing isn't just losing, it's personal. Today, we're going to dissect the one thing that secretly runs your entire trading psychology. It's not fear, it's not greed, it's ego's twin brother, identity addiction. Stay with me, because once you see how deep this goes, you'll never look at your trades or yourself the same way again. Welcome to Disciplined Trades, where we don't just fix your trades, we rewire the trader behind them. Look, everyone talks about risk management, entries, exits, but nobody talks about what's really being risked. Not money, self-image. When you lose a trade, you're not only watching numbers drop, you're watching your internal story collapse. And that's dangerous. Because once your identity gets attached to performance, you'll do anything to protect it. You'll overtrade to prove yourself. You'll average down just to avoid admitting defeat. You'll chase because you can't stand being wrong. Here's the promise for today. You'll learn the 5 identity traps that destroy traders from the inside out and the exact psychological rewires that the top 1% use to stay immune. By the end, you'll understand why your biggest battle was never with the market. It was with the person staring back at you from the monitor. Comment below. When you take a loss, what hurts more? The money or the feeling of being wrong? Be honest, because honesty is the first step out of the illusion. Chapter 1. The Mirror Effect. Why every trade is a reflection of who you think you are. Here's where it starts. Every chart, every candle, every entry, it's not just data, it's a mirror. And when that mirror shows loss, it reflects something unbearable, inadequacy. Think about it. In your first few months of trading, it wasn't about money. It was about discovery, curiosity, learning. But somewhere along the way, you made a silent trade with yourself. My results defined me. That's when the market became a mirror of your identity. Every win confirmed your worth. Every loss attacked it. This is called ego attachment bias. Neuroscience proves your brain merges external success with self-concept. The same dopamine hit you get from winning a trade is identical to the one you get from social validation. So when you lose, it's not financial pain you're feeling. It's social death. That's why you can't step away. You're not chasing profit, you're chasing self-repair. The professional sees trades as data. The amateur sees trades as identity tests. Here's the reframe. You are not the outcome, you are the operator. Detach the operator from the operation. Every surgeon loses patients. Every trader loses trades. Only amateurs confuse mistakes with meaning. Ask yourself, when I lose, what story do I tell myself? That story, not the loss, is what's destroying you. Chapter 2. The Myth of the Genius Trader. How Ego Masquerades as Confidence. You've seen it. The Instagram trader posting $10,000 days. The guy who never loses. You look at that and a small voice whispers, why not me? That's the genius myth. The illusion that trading success equals intelligence or superiority. But here's the truth. Markets don't reward IQ. They reward emotional neutrality. Richard Dennis trained random people in the turtle experiment. No finance background, no special education, just process, repetition, and discipline. The result? They outperformed seasoned pros. So why do you still crave being smart? Because ego wants credit. It doesn't want to be right, it wants to feel right. And when ego runs your trades, you start ignoring data. You average down to prove you're not wrong. You double size after a loss to restore status. You interpret randomness as confirmation. That's not trading. That's ego maintenance. Here's where professionals differ. They replace the word smart with accurate. They replace being right with being aligned. Ask any hedge fund manager who's lasted decades. Their favorite sentence is, "I don't know." Because when you admit you don't know, you stop defending identity and start protecting capital. So next time your trade fails, don't say, "I was wrong." Say, "My hypothesis was invalid." You just remove the I, and that's freedom. Chapter 3. The Scarcity Loop. How Money Fear Becomes a Personality. Here's where identity addiction gets darker. Money stops being a tool. It becomes oxygen. And when oxygen gets cut off, panic begins. This is the scarcity loop. Loss triggers fear. Fear triggers urgency. Urgency triggers bad trades. Bad trades trigger more loss. And the loop reinforces one idea: I am not enough. Daniel Kahneman's prospect theory explains this perfectly. Humans feel losses twice as strongly as gains. So your brain exaggerates financial pain until it becomes an existential threat. That's why you stare at charts after hours, why you can't sleep after a drawdown, why you feel shame, not just stress. It's not about money, it's about identity, safety. You've mistaken your account balance for your self-worth balance. And every red candle feels like proof of inadequacy. Here's the paradox. The moment you need to make money, you've already lost control. Top traders flip it. They don't need the market. The market needs them because they bring discipline to chaos. Here's your practice. Detach identity from profit and loss through ritual separation. After each session, close all charts. Write 2 sentences. What did I execute well? And what will I improve? Notice, there's no how much did I make. You're teaching your brain to link identity to process, not profit. Chapter 4. The Revenge Archetype. When the market becomes the enemy. This one is brutal. You lose a trade, you feel attacked, you want to get it back. Classic revenge trading, right? But here's what's really happening. It's not the market you're angry at. It's yourself. The self that felt stupid. The self that felt small. The self that refuses to die quietly. Freud called it narcissistic injury. When your ideal self-image takes a hit, you instinctively seek to restore balance through external action. That's why revenge trades feel so right, because your subconscious isn't trading the chart. It's trading to repair identity damage. Victor Niederhofer did it twice. Blew up in 1997. Rebuilt, blew up again 10 years later. Same pattern: loss, rage, overcompensation, oblivion. He wasn't trading strategy, he was trading redemption. Here's your intervention. Before every trade, ask, am I trading data or am I trading emotion? If the answer isn't data, step away, then use the 90-second rule. After a loss, set a timer. For 90 seconds, do nothing. Let biology talk calm. Let ego bleed out. When logic returns, you'll realize the market never hurt you. You did. Chapter 5. The Identity Rebuild. How professionals redefine themselves without performance. Here's the final shift. Every successful trader eventually has to kill their old identity, the one that needed to win, the one that equated value with results. Because as long as you trade to protect identity, you'll never be free enough to see truth. Ray Dalio once said, "I don't care about being right. I care about finding out what's true." That's not humility. That's psychological liberation. He built Bridgewater's entire culture on radical transparency because he understood one thing. Ego hides in silence. When you expose it, when you admit fear, doubt, error, it loses power. Here's how to rebuild identity like a professional. 1. Create a trader persona. Separate your personal self from your trading self. Give it a name. Mine is the executor. The executor doesn't get emotional. He just follows the plan. 2. Define your identity by consistency, not outcome. Instead of I'm profitable, say I'm disciplined. Profit is a byproduct. Discipline is the identity. 3. Build rituals of detachment. When trading ends, close screens, journal reflections, then physically leave the environment. You're teaching your nervous system that your worth exists outside the charts. Identity is like a muscle. If you only train it in reaction to wins and losses, you'll always be fragile. But if you train it in neutrality through routines, reflection, process, you become unbreakable. climax. Let's pause here, because this is where it hits hardest. You're not just losing trades, you're losing fragments of who you think you are. That voice that whispers, you're failing, you're not enough, you should have known better. That's not analysis, that's identity collapse in real time. But here's the paradox. The moment you stop defending who you were, you create space to become who you're supposed to be. Every loss is an identity update, a forced evolution. The market doesn't punish you. It just mirrors your current level of truth. If you need to prove, it'll humble you. If you need to protect, it'll expose you. If you need to grow, it'll guide you. The pros understand this. They don't resist pain, they translate it. Each loss says upgrade required. You think you're breaking down, you're actually being rewritten. The market is the most honest mirror you'll ever face. It shows every insecurity, every bias, every illusion instantly. And the only way to win is to stop fighting the reflection. When you can look at a loss and feel curiosity instead of shame, you've arrived. When your confidence comes from process, not profit, you've evolved. When your identity no longer depends on outcomes, you're finally free. Let's bring it home. You started this video thinking you were losing money. Now you know you were losing identity. Every trader begins by chasing profits. The elite end by mastering self-concept. Detach identity from outcome. Replace I lost with the system lost. Replace I'm wrong with the hypothesis failed. Replace I need to win with I need to execute. Here's your challenge. For the next 7 days, journal after every trade. No profit and loss allowed. Only answer these 3 questions. Did I follow my process? What emotion tried to hijack me? What identity did I defend? At the end of the week, you'll realize something profound. You were never battling the market. You were battling yourself. Like this video if it hit you in the gut. Comment below with one identity you're ready to let go of. The perfectionist, the gambler, the genius, whatever it is, write it down. That's how detachment starts. And if you want to go deeper into rewiring the trader behind the trades, subscribe, because next week we're breaking down the discipline paradox, how doing less creates more profit. You're not broken, you're just misidentified. The market isn't testing your strategy, it's sculpting your character. See you in the next one, where we stop trading to prove ourselves and start trading to free ourselves. Welcome back to reality.